to his great nominees. Today I have the honor of presenting the Harold Wax Outstanding Merit Award. And this award is named after Harold Wax, who is here with us today, who is one of the founding fathers of this organization, a past president, a zealous representative of Indian workers for over 60 years, and of course, a recipient of the Eugene Marius Lifetime Achievement Award. So as you can see, this award has a lot of thought behind it. Thank you, Harold Wax, for your service. Yes, he's also well, a little background on the recipient today that is going to be receiving this award that I got with the help of his lovely wife, Nancy. Might not know this, that Alan has been doing charitable endeavors since high school. He founded the Fun on Wheels program where they drove around to local parks and handed out various craft things and also sporting activities. Nowadays, that might be a little suspect, but we appreciate that. He also and he carried that on to Cuba, where he's gone many times to poverty-stricken areas where he's delivering these same type of products. He has also coached the Special Olympics and granted kids wishes for Make-A-Wish Foundation. And with all this children activity, it's no wonder that you can see the love that I knew on Facebook that he has for his children, Hudson and Harper. He is also has an adventurous spirit, backpacked all around the world, including Great Wall of China, Machu Picchu, India, Asia, Dubai, most South American countries, and of course he studied in Israel. He's very actively in sports, being a quarterback at his high school, hockey. About the hockey, I'm glad you just retired, Nancy told me. They heard about Alan Quick, so that's a good thing. He also tried out for the Cincinnati Reds when he was 19. Scholastically, he was a born leader. He was president at all his schools, elementary, junior high, and high school, prior to college. Speaking of college, he's gone to a couple of them. He's gone, of course, to up in Canada and been undergraduate, and also in for law school, in Manitoba and Pepperdine University. That appears that he went to both schools for both, so he truly was a wandering Jew. Let's see, he's got so many accomplishments here. Oh, also is a finalist for the Rhodes Scholarship. He attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. So the judges that might be here might see his dramatic flair. It's from actual training. Also, he worked for the legal department for NBC, and this hit me. He worked on the TV show Saved by the Bell. Now, the reason why he got this award. This award is for Southern California attorney who has shown exceptional passion and ability in representing the workers. There could be no question that Alan has certainly, what's going on there? All right. Has shown his zealousness, maybe a little oversight, because he's not afraid to put his money where his mouth is. I'm sure there might be a few judges here that know that he's been sanctioned for his overzealousness. But again, there isn't holding anything back on a financial basis. He is there for his clients. Also, I have had the honor through the years of witnessing the efforts that he's given for the Southern California conventions, for many committees on Haas Board of Governors and Board of Directors. And he's doing all of this while doing his own KABC radio show, Gurvey's Law. We're touching many issues and getting our issues out there for the general public. And again, I have to come back to his family. I'm Facebook friends with him. He is doing everything with his family. So I don't know how he does it. I don't know how many years, hours in the day he has, but he certainly is deserving of this award. Now, Ben, are you going to take it out of the thing for me here? So the actual award says something like this. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so do we have any other words up here? Anyone else want to say? Oh, hold it. I forgot something. Last year's recipient, we have Jamie Barrettson here. You are entitled to speak for the next recipient. So do you have anything you want to add? I think she says, I approve this message. Hold on. It's very heavy. In recognition of your outstanding dedication and commitment to the protection of the rights of injured and dignity of injured workers by the state of California, presented this day, the 14th, 2016, to Alan Gurvey. Please come up and receive your award.
So is this award going to stand in front of me for my whole speech? Thank you, it's very heavy. Wow, that was really something. Thank you, Alan. Where did he go? You truly are the glue that holds the Lava chapter together, and you have been a pillar of strength in our community for many years. But most importantly, Alan, again, wherever you are, oh, hi. I really appreciate our friendship. That's what means the most to me. So, I had some strange jobs during college and law school. For 2 years, I worked as a DJ on a cruise ship. For 2 years, I worked as an exotic dancer on a cruise ship. And that's true. I'm going to spare you tonight, and I will not be doing my dance routine, although I was known to juggle my shoes when I was doing my striptease, the only stripper who ever did that. Before I was on a cruise ship, I used to sell books door to door, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week in rural Wisconsin. As part of my job on the book field, I was made to recite a quote every day from Theodore Roosevelt, who gave his speech at the Sorbonne in Paris in April of 1910. I still have an old plaque with the quote on it in my office, and my lovely wife Nancy actually framed it for me a couple of years ago. The plaque says, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." Little did I know back in the day that this quote would ring true in the career that I eventually chose as an attorney representing injured workers. As I stand here today, I do so because of the two P's: passion and persistence. Passion for doing the right thing, and persistence for not giving in to what is unjust and wrong. The last several years in the practice of workers' compensation have represented a time period when injustice and doing the wrong thing have most often prevailed over justice and what is right. Yet, what we do as applicant attorneys for injured workers cannot be the hallmark of failure. We cannot allow the money interests and misdeeds of the legislature, insurance companies, employers, and others to triumph over achievement. Our faces may be marred by dust and sweat and blood, but our passion must always burn brightly and be the guiding light to our dedication and commitment to doing the right thing. Legitimately injured workers should not be ignored or abandoned just because the money interests have been able to prevail upon the powers that be an unjust and draconian system. We cannot give up, and we cannot give in to whatever stands in our path. Achieving success and doing the right thing is not an easy road. As many people know, and Alan mentioned, over the last few years, I've been fortunate to be a talk show radio host, interviewing some of the most accomplished lawyers and newsmakers of our time. I remember in one of my interviews with Gloria Allred, I mockingly asked her, "Does it bother you that people consider you a media whore?" Her response was direct and to the point. She simply said, "They can call me whatever they want. I will continue to use my voice for people who do not have a voice." We too must be a voice through CAAA and through our own individual practices. We are the voice for the dispossessed and the disenfranchised, and we must continue to do so. Just a couple of weeks ago, I interviewed Christiane Amanpour from CNN and asked her if she was concerned that the media would be muzzled with the election of President-elect Donald Trump. Her response was passionate. She said, "We, in the media, will continue to do what we do, regardless of the circumstances. We will pursue truth. That is all that we can do. And that is what we, as injured workers' attorneys, need to do. We need to continue to pursue the truth, and we need to continue to pursue justice, regardless of what happens around us. It reminds me of an award that I received when I was 8 years old, playing six-man football. At the end of the season, the coach gave me a little styrofoam cup. In those days, we didn't get fancy trophies for playing the game. The styrofoam cup said, "To the player who kept his head when all others around him were losing theirs." Let's all keep our heads as we move forward to fight this good fight. There are a lot of people who I want to thank tonight. But first, I want to pay tribute to Harold Wax. It means so much to me to receive this award. Which is so aptly named the Harold Wax Outstanding Merit Award. I didn't have the honor of experiencing the passion of Harold from years ago. But I do remember what Ken Rowan, my former boss, told me about Harold. He said, "Harold Wax is the consummate professional who embodies everything that an applicant attorney should: intelligence, grit, and good values." In fact, Harold was the first chairperson of CAAA's Ethics Committee, as appointed by Ron Feinberg, whose mother was Harold's secretary. Ken Rowan had the utmost respect for Harold Wax, even if he sometimes had him and Alan sit in the back seat of his car as he talked their ears off on those long drives up north to CAAA events. I am so proud to be honored by Harold and Alan today, and I'm so happy to see Harold here with us today. Also want to thank everyone at the law firm of Rowan, Gurvey, and Wynn. Many members of our firm are here today. It is so great. Yes, absolutely. You deserve it. All the applause you get. It is great to work with you all, and you deserve so much credit because, as we always say at the firm, we work as a team in our office, and no achievement is ever possible without the entire team running on all cylinders. I am so thankful to work with such incredibly good people with the right values and priorities. Mike Wynn and Brian Kramer and I have worked together for over 23 years, and I can't think of two guys I would rather spend my working career with. They are an integral part of this award. The book that we could write on our collective experiences working with Ken Rowan would certainly be a bestseller. As for Ken Rowan, he was our mentor and our friend. Through good times and the bad times we shared, he remains an important part of our lives. The journey in workers' compensation has allowed me to get to know the people of CAAA, both in the office in Sacramento and through the board of directors around the state. For that, I am eternally grateful. My work with CAAA and LAVA has had a meaningful impact on me, especially the camaraderie and the fellowship. Helping with educational programs around the state has really been important to me and has been fulfilling and rewarding. I want to thank Steve Chapman for his loyalty, his friendship, and always being there for me. I can't think of anyone else I would rather be in a foxhole with than Steve. Way back when, you can clap for him. Way back when I started in this industry, I worked briefly with Mark Poland, who is here today with his wife Debbie. I learned a lot from Mark, mostly how to manage my life and that our practices aren't always just about business. We have spent hours, mostly at court, talking about sports and life. Speaking of sports, I remember a long time ago in Judge Zamudio's courtroom when an attorney was telling me off, which is not uncommon, and I stood there stoic, refusing to lose my cool as she blasted me. An attorney who I had never seen before came up to me, and he was watching me getting lambasted. He said, "Wow, that was some display of control." That attorney was Ron Feenberg. From that day on, a friendship was forged, not only based on our mutual interest in sports, but also on the commitment to the rights of injured workers. Speaking of Ron, through Ron, I was fortunate to meet and get to know Marv Shapiro. Today, Adam Domchik is receiving the Marvin N. Shapiro Excellence Award. As we all know, Marv was an amazing human being. What I learned from Marv was to be present in every conversation, regardless of who was speaking and who was saying whatever they were saying. Whatever subject it was, he was present. The people over there who are speaking out loud, they may have benefited from knowing Marv and being present in conversations. It meant so much to me when, during his sickness, Marv encouraged me to post pictures of my two little kids on Facebook because he said seeing their faces always brought a smile to his face. I want to congratulate Adam for receiving his award today. It's an honor to share the stage with you, Adam. You'll have plenty of time to clap for Adam in a few minutes. You know, it's funny because a few years ago, when Bill Herreras received the Eugene Marius Award, I remember sitting at the bar with Adam after the event, and I said to Adam, "I'm going to be so happy to be at your Eugene Marius Award presentation." Well, for now, I'm so happy to be at Adam's Marvin Shapiro Excellence Award presentation. So today I've talked a lot about passion and persistence. But my real passion has always been family. While they are not here today, I want to thank my family in Canada for all of their unconditional loving support. My brother and mother, thank you, who have always been my rock, had planned to be here today, but that's a story for another time. They, along with my sister, my 7 nieces, my 1 nephew, and my late father, have been just the greatest support system and best friends that any kid could ever dream of. When I was a young kid, whenever anyone asked me what you want to do when you grow up, I always said the same thing. I said, I want to be a father. However, given life's circumstances, it took me a while to get there. The wait was truly worth it. I want to thank my wife, Nancy, who is always there for me as I am for her. She has been a wonderful mother for our little Hudson and our little Harper. I feel so fortunate and happy to have Nancy, Hudson, and Harper to come home to every day. it may be true that these days we all come home with our faces marred by a little dust, a little sweat, and some blood. And maybe all of us are in a tight place right now. But as Harriet Beecher Stowe said, when you are in a tight place and everything goes against you, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. Thank you very much for this honor.